Stephen, I suppose, how has pre-season been?
Yeah, pre-season's been fine. I think obviously the weather is a challenge for everyone this time of year when you pre-season in January, and so we've had some good training sessions, some good pre-season games, and we're getting ready for next week.
Nice as well to get away from the storm for a while and the bad weather, like you said, and get a bit of warm weather training in as well, and a few matches over there as well.
Yeah, it's hard to get good games in January. So in the old pre-seasons in the summer, you might get teams from England coming in Scotland, but not now. So I think it's great to get those games, and it's good. Vancouver Whitecaps obviously an excellent team, and Molde, so they're good games and good workouts for us.
Busy in pre-season. Are you happy with the business and the shape you're in?
Yeah, it was just slight changes really. Just we've brought a few in, but nothing too drastic, and trying to build this my first year, so just trying a lot of good teams in the league. Obviously Shelbourne winning, Shamrock Rovers, Bohemians, all the Dublin teams, and Derry of course with all the signings they've made are very strong. So a lot of good teams in the league. Cork coming back in, and Waterford, and the teams in the West go in Sligo. So it's right throughout. You won't get any we've drawn in the first game. They've won the cup during Europe, so they've done terrific. So we've got them in the first game. So you're going to have to earn every point, I think, this year.
Huge challenge for you last year to try and hit the ground running. You certainly did that, and the form you had towards the end of last season, you got a pre-season out to maybe take a little bit of a breather and kind of assess things. And how do you feel set to go now, having had that little bit of a breather that you didn't have when you took the job on first?
Yeah, it was a sort of bit of a baptism of fire, and found ourselves in the bottom three, and without any time to breathe really, because we walked us straight into 3 games in 6 days or something, and then we went from being within a few points of Dundalk to obviously winning those 9 games in a row and finishing in the top 3 and qualifying for Europe, which is important, on the back of last year's run in Europe, which was really a brilliant run from the players. Tremendous performances in Europe last season, and so you can take encouragement from that, but a lot of good teams, and just because we finished strong doesn't give you the right to start well. It's a new season and you got to go again. How
do you balance that, I suppose? Like I said, it's a new season, it's a fresh start, but also trying to harness that superb form. Like in many ways you didn't want the season to end.
Scored a lot of goals. Scored a lot of goals in that period, and that was a good sign. I think we finished as the team that was struggling to score goals to be the league's top scorer. So it's but we've got to get back to the drawing board and work hard now ahead of the season. And we're not, dropped it in the first game. They showed the quality. They're how tactically disciplined they are in the cup final. They don't give chances up easily, and they have a goal threat. So we'll have to get that earn that in the first game.
You mentioned the teams, so many big teams in the league, I suppose. Rovers won 4 in a row. Shells ended nearly an 18-year wait for a league title last year. Pats are one of the favourites, rightly so, after the form you had last year. Do you feel this squad are ready to really challenge and maybe bring the league to Inchicore this year?
Well, it's early to say that. I think it's early to say that. I think what we need to do, obviously, you want to be in contention going into the second half of the season, and that's difficult to predict at this stage. I think so. We have a lot of hard work ahead of us, and premature for us to suggest we'll be favourites, having because we finished strongly in the 9 games. But it is a terrific group of players, and with a great attitude, and so hopefully we can have a bit of luck with injuries and do well.
You know what it takes to win the league, obviously, so many times with Dundalk. How do you assess this group compared to some of the great groups of players you had out through the years in the league?
I've been very fortunate to manage some great teams, and the game evolves continually, and you have to adapt with it, and that is the thing, the constant adaptation to tactically and dealing with people, because you have to adapt in the way you deal with young players now. It's different even than it was 6 or 7 years ago. So I think it's listen, every day come on the grass, work and make sure we're better. A lot of teams have different systems. You've got to adapt each week, and sometimes 3 times a week. So you got to do that, and in our possession, and we're looking forward to the season. The Inchicore's been alive at the end of last season, right? And it's promising in terms of the crowds and right throughout the league, really. So we can take encouragement from that.
You mentioned young players, of course, huge news in the last 24 hours that came out. I'm sure it was going on in the background for quite some time. Mason's the first ever €1 million plus player in the League of Ireland. He's got his big move to the Premier League and to Tottenham.
Yeah, and listen, he's been a credit to himself, really, because you would never know there was any speculation because he just takes everything in stride and works hard. He's a credit to himself and his family, and he needs to keep enjoying his football for the season. We're delighted to have him for the season. He's not been training. He's had a period out because of a back issue, and so we've looked after him and made sure we ease him back in, and he's back training now this week, and looking forward to utilising him now throughout the season.
What does it say about the kind of player he is that he's got that move, and he's, like I said there, he's the first big money player?
It's just unusual for a 16-year-old to be leading the line in the Premier Division and in European games against top-class opposition. He's not playing a full-back or on the wing. He's playing as the main centre forward, and physically the challenges that brings against top-class international players, he's held his own, and more than held his own, he's caused a lot of problems, and so he had a good season, and now he has to try and build on that, and with a full year, and then he'll get the move that he wanted. His
stats are ridiculous. The third youngest ever player to make League of Ireland debut, youngest ever goal scorer. Like we said, he's got the big money move. You've obviously had some great players in the teams you had, and also the 21s in the national team as well. How special is he, Stephen?
Yeah, that's time will tell on that. It's you don't like to make snap judgments too early, but yeah, obviously for him to be playing at the level he has at 16 is phenomenal, and so hopefully he can have an injury-free run and get games and continue to enjoy his football and show his quality.
Finally, what a great boost it is for you guys, but also as well for the league. The league is getting such a great profile. You're back in the league. You look at the likes of Damien, obviously at Shell's, Damien Duff as well. And now that we have Mason, he has his move, but he's also going to be here playing in Inchicore every second week and playing in our league.
And that's the difference with the advent of Brexit, I suppose, is that in the past, players like Mason would have been definitely gone at 16, and I suppose now they're not going until 18, and it's good for the supporters in Ireland to see him playing live every week, and it's great to see that, and we're looking forward to that.
Best luck this season. Thanks a million.
Thank you very much. Thank you.